3, 2, 1. Alrighty guys, welcome back to another little video where today I wanted to change something up. So last week, or I guess now almost 2 weeks ago, I made a video on the GTX 760 OEM. And that video has actually done very, very well for what I was expecting it to do. And I made a decision at this point, or I'm making a decision at this point. I want to transition off of doing motherboard, like talking about motherboards, and go into graphics card reviews. Primarily because I have insight on what the market actually looks like, and because I spend so much time paying attention to the market, I believe that I actually have valuable information that I could, well, give to other people trying to decide what to buy for graphics cards. Now, this is going to range from relatively high-end stuff to, well, you already got it because you have it in a pre-built computer and you never thought you could actually game on it. For some of the stuff that I've got, but I digress. I wanted to essentially make a list of GPUs that I either have or that I would be willing to get to actually do more comprehensive reviews on. And what I want you guys to do is go down in the comment section and actually tell me what graphics cards you want me to review. By the way, RTX 20 series and 30 series are out of the question. Don't even try it. They're way too astronomically overpriced, and I'm not going to spend close to $500 for an RTX 2060 or close to $750 for something like a 2070. That is absurd. By the way, 2080 Ti's are still going for about $1,000. Yeah, no, I should have bought one when they were 500 bucks. I digress. Moving on. Okay, so the first GPU that I wanted to bring up here, now if you guys want me to redo this video, was the GTX 760. If you guys would like me to do more of a comprehensive review on that graphics card instead of just talking about it, I certainly can. That graphics card is actually a very good option at it's about 110 USD price point. But I really don't know if I did the card justice by I didn't go into extreme depths about what it could actually do, other than just what games it could play. So I would very much be interested in re-looking at that graphics card, and I certainly have no opposition to actually doing a full-fledged review on it instead of just looking at it. Okay, so the next card that I actually have on hand here is the GTX 770. The GTX 770 I made a video on close to a year ago, something like that. It was a video kind of talking about a potato GPU and a potato monitor, but nowadays that potato GPU is not really a potato GPU, and a GTX 770 is not a bad option. So if you guys would like me to do a more comprehensive review on that one, definitely let me know. The GTX 780, another card that has gone up in price, but I still feel like it is a worth it card, especially being the fact that I'm saying the 770 is a worth it card. The GTX 670, a card that I do not actually have on hand, but I'd be interested in picking one up because they do actually have pretty interesting specs. And being the fact that the 760 did so well, I wonder how the 670 would do. The GTX 680, which is a GTX 770. The GTX 770 and the GTX 680 are exactly identical cards. The only thing is that the GTX 770s are a little bit more power efficient. Other than that, they have the same CUDA core count, the same CUDA cores, the same VRAM, same everything. It's just they made it so the 770s are slightly more power efficient. I think they run slightly lower clocks too, but with overclocking that really doesn't matter. I digress, moving forward. The GTX 660, now this is another interesting one. The GTX 760 was one of my, I guess I undervalued what that card could be. And then when it performed performed past its expectations, it really made me want to look at the 660. And the 660 is another one that I'd be interested in picking up. I don't currently have one, but that would be, I think, kind of a fun card to do a review on. But I don't know, you guys are going to have to let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Okay, the R9 270. Now I have a lot of experience with this card, primarily because I actually bought it for the Joker PC, and I no longer have the Joker PC. But the R9 270s are not exactly hard to get your hands on nowadays. They are 2GB graphics cards with an actually decent amount of shader count, so it's actually got pretty decent shader clocks as well. So the R9 270 might be a card that I'd be willing to look at in the future too, or that would be a card that I'd be willing to pick up. Another card that I'd be willing to pick up would be something like the R9 280. Now the R9 280 has 3 gigs of VRAM and sits right between like the GTX 770 and 780 for performance-wise. So it's a very interesting little card, and that's yet again not one that I have on hand, but one that I'd be interested in picking up if you guys wanted to see it. And then the final card that I have on this little list here would be the R9 290. Now the R9 290, just like the GTX 780, have really gone up in price, but they're sitting right about at this midway level graphics card, or like this mid-tier graphics card that doesn't have an insanely high price tag, but it can still play literally whatever you want it to. It can still handle a lot of games. Yes, you're going to have to drop resolutions down typically, and yes, you're going to have to drop down settings a little bit, but even if you're not able to play the game in full fat resolution or full fat graphics settings, you're still able to play said games. So I know that that doesn't exactly appeal to everybody, but I know personally I would rather be able to play the game than not. And I also have a bunch of other odds and ends random GPUs, like I said, that are just kind of like potato GPUs that I've either gotten over time with pre-builts or I've purchased on the side to do some experimenting with. One of the cards would be something like the NVIDIA Quattro FX 4800. That is something I'm currently messing around with and overclocking in my GPU test bench right now, just for the fun of it. Another one that I have would be the FX 1800, which actually came in the Dell Optiplex for a pre-built. That would be one that I'd like to make a video on, specifically because it came in the Dell Optiplex. But that is something that I will have to look at in the future. A few other graphics cards that I have on hand would be my first graphics card ever being my HD 7750. That would be a fun one to do a video on if you guys want to see that one, but that one does fall into it falls into a weaker category. I've had that GPU for a very long time now, and it's got DDR3 memory instead of GDDR5. So if that kind of gives you the example of how old we're talking about for a GPU. And another card that I'm going to make a video on specifically to tell you guys to avoid it would be the the R7 240. Those cards have a very sketchy backstory and a sketchy past. So yeah. But if there's any videos or any particular cards that you want to see firsthand, or you want to see first instead of later down the line, definitely let me know, and I would be more than happy to pick up older or somewhat weaker graphics cards. I would be very happy to try out stuff on the Fermi architecture. I don't have anything on hand, but I'd be more than happy to do some experimenting with some Fermi tech if you guys want me to do that. But if you guys have any questions or any comments, definitely leave them down in the comment section below and let me know what you guys actually think and what you guys want to see, because yet again, it's kind of open-ended, and whatever you guys want to see, I'd be more than happy to make videos on. So yeah, just communicate with me, talk to me, let me know what you guys want to see down in the comment section below. The first GPU that I am probably going to be doing is the GTX 770 as kind of like a baseline for everything else. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!